I called you my girl. You used to be my temptation. Your light turned red now. You chose to change your direction. You found a new man. It doesn't really seem like you're as close. Turn off the volume. Never gonna see where this thing goes. Never gonna see where this thing goes. Baby, why'd you have to walk away?
Well, hello friends, welcome back to another video. I'm actually pretty excited because today's video I'm going to be diving in a little bit more on how I study for nursing school exams, a few things I wish I would have known prior to taking nursing school exams, and just what has helped me so far. So if you're interested, go ahead and keep on watching. Okay guys, so a few simple things that have really helped me with taking nursing school exams is definitely a handful of things. So first off, I just wanted to point out that I failed my first nursing school exam, and ever since then I desperately wanted to find something that would work for me because I felt so defeated and I honestly just wanted to quit right then and there. I was like, maybe I'm just not made for this, like maybe I'm just not that smart, like maybe I just don't need to do this. But you guys, I'm in my third semester of nursing school. I have gotten good grades. I've been doing well. So I think it's only fair to share what's working for me and what may work for you. So let's go ahead and dive in. Alright guys, so any time that I have a exam, the first thing I'll do, well, I do want to say, I don't know if all instructors do this. So if your instructor does, good for you. I'm so happy for you. If they don't, I'm so sorry because it makes things a lot easier. But that is the syllabus. So I really like when my instructors already tell me what's going to be on the exam. So the first thing that I'll do is come to, like, let's say for example our first exam. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this or not. But when you guys look at her syllabus, it says exam 1, and then in parentheses it tells you what chapters are going to be on the exam. This right here is your key to success because right here it says chapters 1 through 5 and 7 through 16. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to study those chapters, the ones that she's giving us, because you don't want to study any excess material that is not given to you or what's not going to be on the exam. 1 through 5 and 7 through 16, that is a lot of chapters. If I did my math right in my head, I think that's like 13 different chapters or 16 chapters for one exam, and that is insane. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of things to cram all in one. So what I do is I obviously do not go through those chapters and just read page by page. I do not have time for that. Nobody has time for that. Do not read your chapters from front to back of each chapter. You will not have time for that. You are going to set yourself up for failure. So what I do, I take the chapters that is given to us and I do practice questions. So one of those being is test banks. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of test banks or have ever used one, but my classmate and I actually share test banks. So like she'll get the test bank and then I just pitch in a little money, and I think they're like 30 bucks, and then I lent her 10. So I gave her my part, and that way I had access to the test banks, and it just makes it a little bit cheaper for you guys. So I'm going to open up my laptop here, just show you guys an example of what the test banks look like and what to expect. I'm telling you, these test banks are so similar to questions on the exam. It's insane. Like literally the same exact questions I've had on my test banks have been on my exam. Even like select all the apply questions and just one of those really hard questions. So I love studying this way. The only thing is that they are pretty hefty. So these test banks, each chapter can be like 30 questions long. So if you're going to study chapters 1 through 5 and then 7 through 16, that's a lot of questions. So I'd rather do that than read the chapter over and over again or like front to back, because I can read things over and over again, but if I do not apply my knowledge into a question, I will never get it. So I'd much rather study practice and examples than to just read word for word out of a textbook. So these test banks are lengthy, but you guys, if you spend a couple hours doing these a day, or like me, the day of my exam, sometimes I'll spend 5 hours just doing practice questions, so that way when I see the exam, I just fly through that sometimes and just be like, yep, saw that, like memorize those. Like, I don't know, practice questions really work for me. Alright guys, so when you download a test bank, it's going to give you a bunch of chapters. So like it will literally say chapter 1, chapter 12, whatever. You'll click on this and then it will pop you open into another tab, and I'll show you guys so you guys can see a little bit better. So I did forget to mention where I get the test banks from, or how you can get them for yourselves. I personally have never bought the test banks by myself. Again, I got it from a classmate, but I'm sure you could easily type in like maternal nursing test banks, or like anything like that. So like whatever topic that you're learning about, and then just type in test banks right after that, and you guys should be able to find them or have them pop right up. So test banks are a huge form of my way of studying. That is just like a huge thing that really helps me, and helps me more like grasp that information a little bit more. Another thing that I really do like using is Quizlet. I feel like Quizlet is pretty similar to test banks. They have tons and tons of practice questions that are very similar to the test questions on the exam. So one thing that you can do, and I'm gonna screen record so you guys can see. So obviously right now I'm in my 3rd semester, I'm doing my OB rotations, so we're studying maternal and newborn. So one thing that you can go to is if you go to Quizlet. Okay, so if you go to Quizlet and you actually can search, oh, I don't know what I just did. But if you go to the search button, you can actually type in, like, let's say maternal newborn. And I'm sure it's gonna have tons and tons of stuff that comes up that you guys can use. So there's different terms that you can do, like let's say, what if we searched like maternal newborn exam. Maternal newborn / exam 1. So there's obviously going to be like factors that influence your menstrual cycle. It's going to talk about the hypothalamic pituitary cycle, the ovarian cycle, so like all the basic stuff of OB. So that is a huge way of studying. I really like Quizlet. You guys can really find a lot of stuff on here. Maternal newborn. So we can go to questions. Some of these are locked because you have to have like the upgraded one. I've never ever had to pay for Quizlet and never been successful, if that makes sense. Like, I've been successful without having to pay to get anything else on Quizlet. Let's just say that. So not so much for studying for exams, but like let's say I'm just having a hard time grasping a concept, or I feel like the textbook just might have a little bit more information and details. Sometimes I will just use my book. So these books here are obviously pretty hefty, a lot of chapters, a lot of information. So I will literally just go to the topic that we are learning about. So like right now we're learning about, the delivery part of labor and delivery. So we're going to learn about forceps, we're learning about the vacuum, we're learning about C-sections. So I'm going to go to that section because we actually have like an assignment where we have to describe the benefits, the uses, the contraindications, like all these different things related to forceps and vacuums and C-sections, like stuff like that. So what I do to go more into detail on that assignment is to be able to use my textbook. And this actually helps me studying for exams, even though I'm not like really studying, because when you're typing out that information on an assignment, or like studying, or not studying, but if you're looking up information for that assignment, it's kind of a form of studying. So another thing that you can do, I don't know if you guys have this access, but before we switched to ATI, we had Evolve. So on our Evolve, we actually have our Vital source library. So it's like an online library, like ebooks for these books. So just a faster, quicker way to look for terms or look for stuff is you can actually go to your ebook and then search whatever you're searching for. So like vacuum or forceps or C-sections, like that page is going to pop right up instead of trying to dig in your book and find it and spend time that way. As you guys can see, I was already on this page learning about vacuums, and it just has more detail than what I think would like be on the internet. And at least you know it's like a credible source. You don't know, like it's not something that you're second guessing like if that's actually accurate or not. So I do look at the books sometimes for certain things, or like when they're talking about C-sections, I just like to learn a little bit more about that stuff, just for even personal reasons, not just for studying or like to learn to test myself for questions, but like some of this stuff is just really interesting because this is potentially where I want to work as a nurse. So I feel like I've opened up this book than any other book that I've used because this stuff actually interests me. So sometimes I'll just dive into this book to get more information than what I would get from anywhere else. So another few ways I may study or be prepared for an exam is when you're in lecture and your teacher or instructor is going over different slides and like doing her lecture. I don't know about your guys' instructor, but ours will spit out like, hey, this is important. You're going to want to know this for your exam. And she'll like, you know, give that like the little wink wink. So what I'll do is when I'm in class, I will just jot down any important information. I don't know why that was so hard to say. But let's see. I thought I might have an example for you guys, but I don't think I do. Because sometimes I write it in my notebook, something important, like she's like, this might be on your exam, I'll write it down. Otherwise, I'm always in front of my laptop during lecture because I have her PowerPoints pulled up. So another thing I might do is just pull up a blank Word document and then just type it, because sometimes typing is a lot faster for me too. So if she says something really fast, I can just hurry up and like jot it down. Because if you guys are like downloading the PowerPoints and then you're trying to edit the PowerPoint that she gave you to like add on something, it's just a little more time consuming. So sometimes I'll just have a blank Word document, jot down something that she said, and I'll just be like slide whatever or page whatever, so I can have something to reference back to. So I think that's super helpful, especially when she emphasizes something that she thinks really is important and you need to know. Alright guys, so I have talked about them before here on my YouTube channel, but this is Picmonic. It is so fun for any of you guys who really need a visual learning aspect. It's really, really cool because you are able to search whatever. So if you go to the search button, you can type in maternal, and it's going to bring up textbooks, different like things you can learn. So mechanism of labor. They've got all kinds of stuff on here, you guys. And then not only that, but you can create playlists. So it's really nice, like if you have a specific topic that you're learning, or like that semester this is maternal health and psych, which is what we're doing. You can just make a playlist for maternal health and psych. So it's really cool because it can help you just stay a little more organized. So I haven't been able to dive into this as much as I would like to, but I have used Picmonic in the past and I absolutely love them, just because I feel like it's a really, really good way of learning. If it's not like clicking very well, or if you just need something to like really help you understand something with pictures, it's phenomenal. So I'm in my playlist right now, so as you guys can see, nursing delivery systems, chorioamnioitis, I don't know how to pronounce that, variable decelerations, mechanism of labor, early decelerations, late decelerations, amniocentesis, placenta previa. It talks about oxytocin, so pitocin. There's just so much good information on here, you guys, that you guys should really take advantage of and use if you guys have not already. I will leave Picmonic down in the description box for you guys if you want to check it out, but it has seriously been really, really fun to use and just another form of learning. But if I'm not using Picmonic, another thing that I do like to study with is YouTube videos. So as you guys may know, registered nurse RN here on YouTube. Oh, you guys, if I pass my NCLEX, it's because of her. She has some really, really good videos here on YouTube, tons of different playlists, tons of different things. So I'm learning about maternal right now. She has an entire playlist on her YouTube channel dedicated to that. So she goes over newborn assessments, the AVcreativedesigns score. She goes over to like variables and late decels and early decels and like all of these things. And You guys, she is a lifesaver and I love, love, love her channel. So please go check her out if you guys are struggling with anything. I promise she will help you get through it. She's very, very good at drug calculation. She's helped me understand how to do drug calc way better than any instructor ever has. So yeah. That is all for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I really just wanted to share a couple things that I use for studying for nursing exams and things that I wish I kind of knew about prior to starting school. So I really hope this was helpful. If you guys want to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!